What are the benefits of giving treats to the dogs?
Treats are a great tool that can be used for training.
So, on the flip side, what are the risks pet parents are exposing their dogs to if they choose the wrong treats?
There are a lot of wrong treats in the market, and I think it's extremely important for the parents to know that anything which is filled with artificial preservatives, artificial colors, meals, meat meal, or any sorts of protein meal, those are not good.
Are treats bad for puppies?
Not if they're age appropriate, size appropriate, and are not made with a lot of products.
So, how long is the shelf life for these products?
About 10 to 12 months.
Are homemade treats safer than store-bought treats?
See, there is nothing wrong with homemade treats, right? And if you're comparing a homemade treat as opposed to something bought from the store which has artificial preservatives or fillers or colors, then yes, it is definitely better. The worst thing, in fact, even when we are feeding community dogs or anything, is Parle-G biscuit.
Yes. Give us 3 golden rules which pet parents should definitely follow before they pick up treats. Every dog parent has this one question. Are treats really good for my dogs? This treat is good or that treat is good. Today, on Tales of Tales with Manisha, we dive into the world of treats for dogs. We have Malvika today with us, who will enlighten us or educate us on treats are good, treats are bad, which treats are good or which treats are bad. Malvika is the founder of Woof Ministry. Welcome, Malvika.
Hi, Manisha. Hi.
So, how did your journey start? How did you start Woof Ministry? Tell us something about that.
Okay, I think I had seen a previous podcast of yours, that was Archana's, where she said that probably every brand's the reason the journey is pretty much the same, their own dog. And I think for us also it was pretty much the same. I have always grown up around a lot of community dogs, but we never had a pet at home. But we did have a lot of friends who had pets and stuff like that. What we always noticed was कि या तो they are feeding them kibble, या तो जो खा रहे वही they are feeding them, right? You're
Human
either giving
food.
them human food. Either you're giving them roti or you're giving them dahi chawal or something like that. And so I always used to that. There was always something, that question was always there at the back of my head. But I think it came into focus when we adopted our first pet, Cookie, and our second pet, Bingo. So Bingo, we were, so my husband and I, Animesh and I, we were based in Dubai when we adopted our first pet, Cookie. Even then we were very particular. She was a healthy 3-year-old. We were very particular that we don't want to give anything with fillers and too many ingredients. So we used to go out in the market and we used to find whatever treats we gave her were still only single ingredient. Then we adopted Bingo after about 5 months. He came to us, he was 40 kilos. That was massively overweight.
For a 2-year-old.
Yes, for a 2-year-old, he was a cream retriever. And in Dubai, it's very common that if families don't want dogs, they would go and abandon them in the desert. So we chanced upon his adoption post on Facebook where the family was saying that if you don't take the dog today, I'm going to go and leave him in the desert.
When that's legal over there?
It's of course not legal, but who's going to question him? I mean, nobody questions such things over there. So Bingo came to us, and then we found out he has a lot of issues. And but of course he was ours, so we had to do whatever we had to do. And that's when we started researching about food, about dog food, about what goes in treats. I did a small course for nutrition, and we started making treats at home. Actually, that's how it all started. I got a dehydrator. That was my first dehydrator, a small 5-tray dehydrator, and we started just chopping meat and dehydrating them and giving them, and that really worked for them. And that way I knew what was going in their food and in their treat. Both of them were thriving on that. And then we started making for our friends in the colony and for a lot of our other friends and stuff like that. And that's how it started, but though not officially. In 2019, we came back to India, and that's when we lost Bingo. And we wanted to do something to honor him. And since he was the reason this thing ignited a passion in us. That's how Woof Ministry started in 2019 in November.
Amazing. So let's start simple. What are dog treats actually, and how are they different from regular food?
Okay, so dog treats are like, if we talk in human terms, they're like snacks.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
A snack is not your full meal. You don't have a packet of chips and say that, okay, khana ho gaya. No. So dog treats are like that, but they have a much better purpose for dogs in terms of it can be used for training, it can be used positively for positive reinforcement, it can be used as a bonding exercise, it can be used for enrichment in snuffle mats and stuff like that. And the basic rule to follow is that it should not be more than 10% of your the daily calorie intake for your dog.
Okay.
And it will never replace a meal. It is always an add-on. You can also look at it as meal toppers. Like there are dogs that want to give homemade food but are not able to give non-vegetarian food at home. So, okay, you're giving a vegetarian food, but you can add these things as toppers to enhance the nutritional value of your dog's daily intake.
Okay. Let's discuss the good, bad, and ugly of treats.
Okay.
What are the benefits of giving treats to the dogs?
So, it'll keep your dog happy, right? But on a more on a more mature level, treats are a great tool that can be used for training, right? Because training, when done with positive reinforcement, has the most results, right?
Yeah.
It can be used as enrichment. Like you have your snuffle mats, your sniffer balls. You can do hide and seek games with them, because mental stimulation is extremely important for dogs, right? Like with us humans, we want to keep our brain active, and that is what keeps us going and keeps us healthy. In the same manner, for dogs also, it is very important that the enrichment and some kind of stimulation is done for their mental well-being also. Treats are also used in terms of, suppose your dog has anxiety or something, so for a positive association with something to help them overcome anxiety. Treats can also be used. We also have a lot of categories of treats which are now, functional treats, or treats which help your gut, treats which help in weight loss, treats. So there are a lot of different supplemental functional categories that treats also fall into.
Okay.
So that is the benefit of treats. Now, yeah.
So on the flip side, what are the risks pet parents are exposing their dogs to if they choose the wrong treats?
There are a lot of wrong treats in the market. And I think it's extremely important for the parents to know that anything which is filled with artificial preservatives, artificial colors, meals, meat meal, or any sorts of protein meal, those are not good, right? And of course, they're going to have health impact on your dog. One and the other disadvantage of treats is also overfeeding the treats. Those can lead to lifestyle disorders like obesity. You can have heart issues. You can have gut issues. So I think in a line, if we had to say, is that parents have to read the label before they feed their dog.
Okay. So there are a lot of different kinds of treats in the market. So there are biscuits, there are jerkies, there are bones, there are chewies, there are soft chews. So out of so many of them, can you break these different forms for pet parents of all the treats available in the market? And which ones should pet parents be careful about?
So you mainly named all the categories. So you do have biscuits, you have bones, you have jerkies, which are mainly a single ingredient. Then you have cookies, that kind of thing, or you have soft treats. So you have rawhide bones. You have these are basically your main broad categories. What pet parents should mainly be aware of, and what is probably the worst thing they can feel, is rawhide.
What is rawhide?
So rawhide is basically bleached, right? So anything like bleached skin, you do not want to feed your dog, right? Because it's probably going to get stuck in your dog's intestine. That is not something you want to feed at all.
So
Okay.
for example, I was feeding these
Calcium bones.
dog bones, white color dog bones, and my dog, I thought he was really enjoying those, and I fed a lot of them to him.
Yeah.
And then I stopped when I knew they were not good. So what are they made of?
So
They are sold as made of chicken, but are they
yeah,
chicken
but
bones?
no, they are not. They are just ultra processed, highly processed. Uh, I don't know, waste material that probably you should not be feeding, and they are not definitely not good for dental hygiene, or they are not a source of calcium at all. What other thing we should also be careful about is jerkies that have in the form of preservatives. If you have some salt or biscuits which have artificial color, those kind of things, those you should be careful about. But there are a lot of clean and healthy treats
Options
that are there,
available.
and like I said before, the only important thing is just know what is in the packet of the treat. That's about it.
Okay. So give us some keywords, since you've emphasized so much on reading the ingredient label. So give us some keywords which pet parents, if they read that, that's definitely no pickup or no add to cart.
The most ideal way is to see the ingredient list and to see as minimal ingredient as there is, that is the best.
Okay.
Like we ourselves make with either single ingredients or 2 ingredients. We do not have more than that. Like if you take this packet of mush love, it is just sweet potato and mutton.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay.
Right? That is the kind of thing you should read about. You should also try to see if they have in the brand, if they have done any kind of testing in the market.
Okay.
So the pet food market is unregulated. There is no need for any testing to be done before you sell pet products in the market. We volunteer to get all our products tested, and that is what we have. Even on our website, we mention everywhere that we have tested it in a human grade lab. All our products are tested, and hence that is why we also have the nutritional analysis. We have a feeding guide that on the basis of nutritional analysis, we go to canine nutritionists and we get a feeding guide. So in short, the recommendation is read the ingredients. Anything that you cannot pronounce, anything that you do not know is not good, probably.
Or sounds chemical. Okay.
Is not good.
So the lesser the ingredients, the better.
Yes.
So number of ingredients.
Number of ingredients. The lesser the ingredient is definitely, it means it's a much cleaner product, right? You don't have any preservatives. You don't have things like salt or glycerin, etc. So it's a good product. You don't have any artificial colors like the scientific color names and all that. So that's good. No sugar should be there. No oil should be there. All these are things that you should be careful about.
So most pet parents think treats are equal to pampering, but are they using treats in the wrong way and encouraging behaviors or behavior issues in their dogs for long term?
We do not agree that treats are just for spoiling. Like I think we were discussing before, treats have a very functional purpose where pets are concerned. If it's just for spoiling, even if you're spoiling, it is, first of all, I think that is a incorrect probably way to think about it. But it's a great bonding tool. That is it. That is one way which makes your pet happy, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing it. Of course, don't overdo it. Be mindful about how much you're giving them. But other than just bonding, like we had said earlier, it is a great tool for positive reinforcement, for training, for your mental stimulation. So I do not agree that treats are only for spoiling, but even if you spoil your dog, then...
So like I do that a lot. Whenever I reach home, my dogs obviously rush to me and I give them some treats. So I don't know if I'm encouraging bad behavior or something, but it makes them happy, it makes me happy. So it's a routine now. Every day I do that, but I don't overdo it. But yes, I do give them some treats.
So I think more than spoiling them, that's probably positive association, right? That even though you go out, you're coming back to them, and then they're going to get some treats. So I think it's something that they also look forward to. You're bonding with them also, and I think they all deserve to be spoiled a little bit, right?
Of course. What is the range of products or different kinds of treats which Woof Ministry makes?
We don't have a lot of categories, but we have a lot of products per category. Like we have bites and training treats, which are literally like bite-sized treats, which the main purpose can be used for training. And like we have a lot of protein sources per category. So like in bites and training treats, we have chicken, buff, mutton, pork. We have vegetarian options, fish, etc. Then we have single ingredient treats, which are like jerky for the. I mean. In a sense to explain to people, but not jerky because jerky is associated with a chewy texture. These are basically crunchy and long sticks. We also have bite-sized pieces of these, which are like chunks. So again, we have the same protein sources in this. We have cookies, which are like 1 or 2 ingredient cookies, which are like either buff cookie, which is buff and sweet potato, or there is like pork puffs or mushla. We also have vegetarian options in them. We have ice creams. We do dairy-free ice creams because we believe that dairy is not good for your pet or your dog. And these are ready-made ice creams, not the ones that you need to powder, not the powder ones that you need to mix with water and freeze. So we have a lot of customers who really love these ice creams, and we have some lovely flavors in it. We have chicken blueberry, we have bacon apple, bacon peanut butter. We also have chews, which are like your tracheas, your bones, chicken feet, dehydrated chicken necks, all those kind of things. We have chews. We also have supplements. Now, supplements we have are like your add-ons, health add-ons. So we have broths, we have golden paste, we have fish paste, we have peanut butter. So these are broadly the categories of products that Woof Ministry carries.
That's a really wide range. So considering that most of these are, as in all of them are preservative free, so how long is the shelf life for these products?
About 10 to 12 months.
10 to 12?
Yes.
Okay.
We dehydrate them in a manner and we pack them in packets that are safe to keeping these products fresh for as long as possible and shelf stable. But otherwise, more than 10-11 months is not the shelf life of our products.
So once you open the product, do I need to transfer them into a airtight jar or something?
See, we always no. You do not need to. You can do it. The only rule that I would want to maintain is don't touch the treats with wet hands.
Wet hands. Okay.
That's the only thing. Otherwise, the treats are safe. Either you can put it in a container, you can leave them in this packet. They do not need to be put in the fridge even after opening, and they're good for 10 months.
Awesome. Are treats bad for puppies?
Not if they're age appropriate, size appropriate, and are not made with a lot of products, and basically, if you just try to maintain that you give them in moderation, then I think treats are not bad for puppies.
Is there something called as breed-specific treats, or treats really don't matter? It can be given to any breed.
So, I would not say there are too many things that probably a Shih Tzu can't have, but a Lab can have. I would not say that, or an Indie can't have. But I would say the basic rule is to see what is the size of your dog, what is the weight of your dog. Like a big buff bone is something that a big Lab can have, but a small Shih Tzu it's not recommended.
Very.
So I think as a pet parent, just be conscious about what is easy for your dog to have, right?
Okay. How many treats in a day is too much?
Again, 10% of your dog's total calorie intake. More than that is not recommended. And each treat has a different nutritional analysis, right? So each treat there could be treats like chicken bites that we have that are lesser than 1 calorie, which you can give up to 50-60 because they're so small. But then there are nutritionally dense treats also, which you probably need to give only 1 or 2. So it will depend on the body weight and probably the age at which your dog is also. Like what is probably recommended for a 5-year and the quantity may not always be good for a puppy.
Correct.
Or a very senior dog.
So an example, if there is like 100 grams of liver to be given in the dog food, the real meat, cooked meat, 100 grams of liver, but I cannot find cooked liver. So can a treat replace that, and will the quantity change?
Yes, the quantity will change because dehydrated becomes more nutrient dense. So if you're giving 100 grams of that, it when you dehydrate it, it probably becomes as less as 20 grams, but it is equally as nutrient
So
dense.
20 grams
Yeah, probably
is
20
enough.
grams
You don't,
is
then
no.
I don't
Do
need
not
to give 100 grams.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Are homemade treats safer than store-bought treats?
See, there is nothing wrong with homemade treats, right? And if you're comparing a homemade treat as opposed to something bought from the store which has artificial preservatives or fillers or colors, then yes, it is definitely better. But if you have an option of a cleaner brand, then maybe a cleaner brand is better, because yes, you can make treats at home, but are you sure of the source you're buying it from? Are you sure of the method in which you're cooking it and or baking or dehydrating? Is it at the right temperature? Are you killing the bacteria? There are a lot of things. There is a lot of science and nutrition that goes behind making treats also, right? If you're mixing other ingredients, if it's not single ingredient, if you're putting some vegetable in it, or if you're putting some fruit in it, is that fruit or vegetable safe for your pup? Is that the best combination that goes with that protein? The quantity of that protein as opposed to the quantity of that other ingredient. There is a lot of science, but yes, if you're more comfortable with making it at home, and if you're able to answer yes to all these questions, then yes, you should definitely make treats at home.
Any maybe 2 DIY treats which one can make at home?
Okay, best would be so we are completely grain, gluten, dairy, and preservative free, right? So we don't do any kind of wheat or any other kind of oats flour or ragi flour or anything. So we work with only coconut flour or tapioca. So I'll tell you a recipe for let's say peanut butter cookie, right? I mean, a lot of dogs like peanut butter, so take about a little bit of coconut flour, take a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of maybe sweet potato if you want to give a little different texture to it. Mix it up and just shape it into whatever you want and bake it. And but these cookies, if they are not dehydrated, you will need to keep them in a airtight container, and put them in the fridge. Because they do not have any, I mean, they're not dehydrated, they don't have any preservatives in it, right? So, and yeah, I think if you bake them at the right, I mean, probably at about 350 Fahrenheit, and you're good to go. Let's say for a chicken treat, maybe a chicken biscuit, the same thing you can do, like probably chicken, and maybe if your dog likes some kind of fruit, so maybe you take about a little bit of chicken, some 100 grams of coconut flour, and maybe some blueberries. Maybe if your dog likes blueberries or strawberries, or some any kind of mixed berries. But of course, the fresh fruits, okay, not the ones, not the canned or the preservative ones. And take about 10 to 20 grams of the fruit, and yeah, you can make a dough, shape it into whatever you think. See, the dogs do not know the difference between a bone, shape. Yeah, right. But it's visually appealing for us, so that's why we make it in different shapes. And the same, you bake it and just store it well in an airtight container.
Okay. Is it okay to give human biscuits to dogs?
No, because however much we say that human biscuits, these digestive biscuits, or these healthy biscuits, they will have some salt, they will have some, either if there's not maida, they'll have some kind of wheat, and they will always have some kind of preservative or sugar in them. So no. The worst thing, in fact, even when we are feeding community dogs or anything, is Parle-G biscuit.
Yes.
That is the worst. It is much better to get some rice and maybe or a yogurt or anything from a stall, like maybe some egg. Like at an egg stall, if you can get the boiled egg. Yeah, boiled egg. Parle-G is the worst thing to give to dogs. So no, biscuits.
But street dogs seem to enjoy that a lot.
I mean, it's like with us humans, right? The more junk we eat, the more we enjoy it, right?
Okay.
So they don't know the difference of eating. And I mean, we've had some community dogs that we have fed who, because earlier, before we started feeding them, there were dogs who used to eat bundi laddu. And it took a long time for them to finally start eating the chicken and rice that we used to give, as opposed to where they used to sit at a mithai store. So, I mean, he would always reject our food and go back because the mithai store guy was giving him bundi laddu once a day. So that guy was very happy with it. But over time, he started enjoying it, the chicken and rice. So, yeah.
Nice. What trends are you seeing in the dog treat industry? And are there any researches or any studies to claim this change, what is happening in the treat industry?
So yes, there are a lot of researches and studies, but I think the biggest change that we are seeing is there is a shift from people becoming pet owners to pet parents, right? We don't like to use the term owners because, I mean, you don't own a dog, right? I mean, it's your child, it's your family member. So we would refer to them as pet parents, and like with any other pet parents, the trend is now becoming that they are researching, they are studying, they are trying to understand what goes in their dog's food. So that is one of the biggest changes that we've seen, because there are people who come to you and ask questions, and that is always appreciated, right? Because they'll ask you questions that what goes in this treat, what goes in this treat. We always encourage customers who have a lot of questions, because at the end of it, that means that you care about your pet, right? So yeah, people are definitely becoming much more aware, and I think that unfortunately for the world, but I think in the pet industry that worked, because this started during COVID. People had time in their hands, people started getting pets home, and then people started understanding and studying and doing research about what is good for their pet, what is not good. Earlier, especially in our country, a lot of dogs were fed whatever is eaten at home, right?
Yes.
You give roti, you give doodh, you give rice, and nobody knew what was species appropriate.
Yes.
But now that awareness is there, and it's a long way to go, but it is definitely growing. That is definitely one big trend, big change that we're seeing.
It's generally believed, like I've spoken to a lot of pet parents, and the myth is that when you start getting all this nutritional, or if you have to get nutritional advice and all for your dogs, all of this costs a lot of money. But I think it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's even cheaper, because you're making everything at home and you're not buying packets from outside.
Right. So that is definitely the case. See, you can never compare kibble, the cost of kibble, to a nutritious, balanced, home cooked meal,
Yes.
right? In that case, the home cooked meal is always going to lose out. But if you see on a long term, in a long term way, that the amount of money that you invest in your pet right now, invest in terms of understanding, giving home cooked or balanced meal, or reaching out to these companies that make home cooked meal, is always going to lose out in terms of kibble, in terms of cost, because kibble is always going to be cheaper.
Yes.
But if you look at it in a manner, in a long way, in a long run, where your pet is much healthier, and if you're giving them balanced meal, if you're giving them the right treats, you're not spending that money on a wet bill. Because when you feed kibble, when you feed rawhide, when you feed junk, your pet is going to suffer, and that is going to equal to a wet bill. So it is healthier, and your pet is much happier, and he's going to be thankful if you're feeding him the right food.
So give us 3 golden rules which pet parents should definitely follow before they pick up treats.
No preservatives, nothing. Read the label. No ingredient that you cannot pronounce or you think you are not going to have it, do not buy that. So read the label is very important. Choose treats that have minimal ingredients, right? 1 single ingredient, great. 2 ingredient, okay. As long as you know what is there, that's great. 3rd is moderation. You always want to be mindful about how many treats you're giving. And like we mentioned before, it should not be more than 10% of your dog's daily calorie intake, plus and minus.
Okay. If your dog could choose one Woof Ministry treat forever, like ye to chahiye hi, what would that be?
That's a tough one. Okay. So probably the chicken sticks, the chicken jerky. I think if they had to go for something for the rest of their life, yeah, it would probably be that.
Weirdest request you've got from a pet parent?
Oh, so we don't do cakes in general, but we did have a family friend who wanted a cake made of these single ingredient sticks. Just so we managed to do that, and I think the dog was super happy and had a great day that day.
Awesome.
So yeah.
So I am a pet parent. I also like community dogs, but I really don't go out and feed them, or I have never taken that initiative to do that.
Okay.
Because there's no reason to it, but I think I don't have time to do that. But I would definitely want to keep something with me always in the car, so that whenever I find a community dog, I can feed the dog. So give us some tips on that, and also how do you guys help the community dogs?
Okay, so the best manner is, if you're not going to do it on a regular basis, is, I mean, you can give them treats.
Oh,
right. But because doing it on a dedicated daily basis takes a lot of dedication,
yes,
takes time and effort. So if you're not going to be doing it daily, then I think just stick to treats or eggs or something like that. But so anyways, coming to your second part of the question, how we started it during COVID. In COVID, we found a lot of dogs that were not getting food because all your establishments, buildings were shut, right? So it started with about 3 dogs who were in our lane, and we used to make the chicken, and we used to go and feed them every day: chicken, rice, little turmeric, little egg, pumpkin. So that was generally the food that we used to make for them. And this started at the beginning of COVID, and till the end of COVID, I think we had almost from 3 dogs. It has now grown to about 120 dogs.
Wow.
And about 20 cats. And of course, we are not able to dedicate the time. So we have a dedicated person who we've hired, who makes the food and goes and does the feeding every day. But I think what we do miss about it was that, when we used to go to them, and they have their fixed spots. And when the car used to near them, they used to recognize the car, and they would, the joy that they felt, and the happiness that we felt when we used to see them wagging their tails, or they will come, and the minute we step out, they'll jump on us, and that kind of thing. I think that joy is unmatched. And there is, it was a really a sweet thing that the dogs would recognize you, and it was very nice at that time.
What are your thoughts on adoption?
Okay. That is a philosophy that is very close to us. Having adopted all 3 of our dogs, when we were in Dubai, and one during COVID, literally from the streets in India. And I think it's great because you are saving a dog's life who otherwise did not have a chance, or else who's sitting in a shelter and just who has probably seen a family or not seen a family, who has been abandoned. So adoption is it's of course very close to us. We also are very proud of it and showcase it on our packaging. But I think the main reason is because it helps clear shelters, so that the shelters can take in more dogs
and function.
They can function better. And of course, there is no difference in an adopted dog or a dog you're buying. First of all, there are no ethical breeders in this country.
Right.
So you are when you are buying a dog, you are in a manner you're feeding the illegal breeding industry. That is not something that you want to do. So people are specific. They want breeds. They want this age puppy. Now you can try to educate, you can try to tell people, and if you want breeds, there are breeds available in the shelter also. There are a lot of labs who are abandoned. There are so many retrievers, there are so many Shih Tzus. So if you want breeds, there are breeds. But adoption has a different a bond with the dog that has seen hard times and then is coming to your family is different. And it's a very nice feeling. And when you see the dog happy and sleeping peacefully without having to think that, there are firecrackers today, where am I going to hide?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So adoption for us has a very special place, and we recommend it to everybody, because an adopted dog is no less than a dog that you're buying from a breeder. And you're buying from a breeder, you don't know the breeder, the breeder is not even doing a good job of it, because you hear of so many stories where a breeder bought dog by the age of 2 or 3 has hip dysplasia, or is already has so many health issues, right? So I think adoption is definitely a very, very great way to have a pet.
Thank you, Malvika. This was really an eye-opener. As in, I had never looked at treats in that way, that treats can be used beyond pampering, and one has to really read the label to understand what's going in the treats. They are not just to make your dog happy or to make you happy. So thank you for sharing all your knowledge and wisdom to us. And it's a great job you're doing at Woof Ministry.
Thank you.
We hope to take it to more pet parents so that they can, make their pets happy with Woof Ministry.
Thank you.
This was all on Tales of Tales with Manisha.